Good afternoon. I'm County Judge Richard F. Cortez, Chairman of the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. On March the 16th of 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, to temporarily suspend a limited number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic and video conference meetings in response to this COVID-19 matter. In accordance with those suspended rules, notice of this meeting of the Board of Directors of Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The board is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would in any in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to participate in the public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions on the posted meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to board adopted procedures to the extent practicable. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable technical difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate through this unprecedented conditions. The time is now 2:02 and we will begin with a roll call.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Flores, Precinct 3.
Ali Torres, Precinct 4.
And Richard Cortez, County Judge, that constitutes a quorum. Mr. Sassine, would you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. I'm just going to pray for us today, Judge. Go ahead. Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Lord, we thank you for another beautiful day. I ask that you keep us all healthy and safe during these times, and that you grant hope, health, and healing to all in need. May we all recognize all our blessings. I ask that you bless this board, Lord, as they work together to make the best decisions for our county. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Did we have anybody sign up for open forum?
Not for drainage.
Okay. Do we have any items to pull out of the consent agenda before approving it?
None that I'm aware of as a judge. Everything is standard approval check register, and we have just one item that has been vetted by engineering and accounting. Everything's in order. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 5A.
5A, discussion and approval resolution in support of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council application to the Texas Water Development Board for flood protection planning and approval for the Dow County General Manager, Drainage System General Manager, executing and all control with the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council, pending final legal review. Judge, this item and board before us is a support of an application the Lower Rio Grande Valley is doing for the Tri-County area, Cameron, Willacy, and our county. It's basically a H&H study that is being done, and some other items that are also going to be looked at with this study, water quality and things of that nature. For the district and for our county, well, we expect to get out of this. And again, this is just a bridge application. We get selected and go into the full application and get the project. We expect to get all the hydraulics that will be needed or is still needed for our FEMA issue that we're having with the levees. As you will know, the levees have been certified by IBWC on the water side, which is inside the floodway. However, on the land side, which is anything outside the floodway, we're still lacking some of that H&H. We have some of it. We don't have everything. So this study will get us one step closer to getting that information so we can package that information up to FEMA and work towards accreditation of the levies, which will allow us then to look at the map modernization of our county and start updating our FEMA maps. So we support this resolution. We recommend the board to support it. I know we have Commissioner Garza from Cameron County on the line as well, and Commissioner Fuentes has been very involved in this as well. So I'd like for them to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you, Raul. Definitely in support of this. This is a tri-county area. A lot of what we heard during the Water Development Board hearings and throughout this whole process was they wanted to make sure that everything that they were considering as a priority were regional projects. So what better way to create a regional project than to go through our Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council of Governments? We've been working on this for a few months. Obviously, this is years of coordinated work together to try to get to this place. We're looking at a grant or a project total cost of roughly $9 million at only 10% participation from local monies. And then we would be splitting that cost with Cameron County, and they're willing to put up 50%. We'll put up 50%. And like Raul said, we have a lot of benefit from the studies that we're going to produce through this grant. We're hopeful that it gets approved because we're looking at a tremendous amount of benefit, and we couldn't have done it without the efforts of Commissioner Eddie Gonzalez over in Willacy County, Commissioner Garza over in David Garza over in Cameron County, and then Commissioner Eli Torres, who also has been involved through some of our water resource groups. So all of us have been really working together, and we invited Commissioner Garza to just come say a few words on behalf of Cameron County and their participation. So Commissioner Garza, I know that you're you're participating. If you would like to say a few words, sir.
Thank you so much, Judge and Commissioners. Thanks for inviting me first and foremost, but we are fairly excited about being able to participate in a tri-county project. I know that Commissioner Torres and Commissioner Fuentes and myself have been before many Texas Water Development Board meetings, and they keep telling us that they want a regional multi-jurisdictional project approach to how we resolve some of our issues. And we all have our issues, and they are slightly different. But at the end of the day, we impact each other in where water flows occur. So this particular opportunity came up. We used the Regional Water Advisory Committee at the Lower Rio Grande Development Council to vet the process and to move this forward. I sent basically like a white paper that has been developed as to what this entails with the goals of the project, the objectives, and specific tasks. In the process of getting to where we are today, every small municipality in all of the 3 counties has been reached out to, because part of the methodology of trying to get a regional study done is to make sure that we include areas in all of the smaller municipalities that sometimes don't have the assets available to do the work that some of the larger counties can do, and incorporate them into the model. You know, the idea here also includes an amount. The Army Corps of Engineers keeps telling us that they want to do a full-fledged H&H study for the valley. The only issue has been that it requires a match, and that match has also been incorporated into this particular project so that it can be identified. And when we approach the Army Corps for their help in moving that large-scale H&H study forward, we will have the match already in place. These dollars are local dollars. They're not federal dollars or state dollars. They can be matched to a federal study that involves federal dollars. And I'll stop there. And if there's any questions, attempt to answer them between the 3 of us or the 4 of us here.
Commissioner, I just want to thank you again for taking the lead on this from the county side as far as the paperwork and the application through the use of your consultants, but also for work, on behalf of Hidalgo County and the Drainage District. And I'm sure I speak for Willacy County as well, that we're very appreciative of the joint efforts in putting this project together. This is going to be very impactful. And at a 90% grant, if this is approved, that's a tremendous amount of information that we're going to get for a very small amount of money invested, and that's because of the cooperation, collaboration between our counties. So thank you again for helping us out with that and for being a partner in this.
You're welcome.
With that said, Judge, I'd like to make an motion for approval, please.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Commissioner.
You too.
Thank you. Item 5B, discussion possible action on resolution in support of Willacy County and Willacy County Drainage District Number 1, joint application for Texas Water Development Board, flood infrastructure funding, and bridge application pending final year review. Again, this is another project that is tied into our what we call our north floodwater, north main drain that goes through Willacy County. We are supporting this effort because it's going to help the area that we currently service through our north main drain, but also look at the impact that we can have from our main drain to the area. So the Willacy will be running and submitting the application. The district will be supporting through in-house forces and in-house engineering some of the requirements and information, and even possibly design as well, and work to get that reimbursed through the if we're successful in the application and the application gets approved and the funds get granted from the grant money that we'll be receiving. So we also would like to recommend approval on this item of the board. And Commissioner Fuentes?
Yes, we want to thank Commissioner Garza and Commissioner Gonzalez over in Willacy County. Same idea. We're trying to create regional projects. Everything that we do to improve the main drain further to the east through Willacy County will affect us positively in Hidalgo County on the northern side near the Delta area all the way to Edinburgh and North McAllen. So this is going to indirectly impact us, and we feel like this is a project that, working through our sister county, that we're able to assist them in relief of the flooding that's happened over the last couple of years, but also indirectly creates more capacity downstream for us so that we can assist getting water out of our neighborhoods much quicker. So we appreciate that. This is a little bit smaller project. We're estimating somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2 million in hopes of roughly 50% grant and then 50% participation between the two counties. Like Raul said, through in-house forces, engineering services, we feel that this is going to be very beneficial to the northern part of Hidalgo County and to our sister county, Willacy County, downstream. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item D, requesting exemption from bid requirements, Texas Government Code. Oh, I'm sorry, that's it. I apologize. C, requesting approval of public negotiated professional service contract with George.
You're going to let them know?
Second. Appraisal house relates to on-call real estate appraisal services. Application number 1, project effective date starting June 18, 2020 through June 17, 2021. Approved for negotiation by the board. Agenda item 75760, June 2nd, 2020.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, request exemption from bid requirements, Texas Government Code 262024A for professional service.
So
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 2, positive action to approve legal service contract on a contingency fee basis with the law firm or the J. Ramirez Law Firm in relation to bond counsel services. Social legal review contract number CHCD 120 0360609.
Approval.
Second.
Ivan, what is the contingency about?
The fee is going to be on a sliding scale, Judge. So depending on the millions of dollars that he's dealing with, the fee will be
Okay, so it's contingent on the amount that we borrow.
correct.
Okay.
That is correct, sir. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I understood that. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3, possible action to approve a resolution regarding approval of contingency fee contract for legal services with the J. Ramirez Law Firm pursuant to Texas Government Code 2254-103 6B, and those provided to the public for the service of bond counsel.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
6A, requesting approval of change order number 6, reflecting an increase in the amount of $90,795.12 and 30 additional construction calendar days in connection with contract number CACD 1-19-020109 Dow Foundation 1 project for McAllen Drain Improvements 2018 bond referendum project 31 Morwell LLC as recommended project engineer David Science P. LNG engineer.
For approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We do have a couple of small items in executive session, sir.
Okay, pursuant to subchapter D of chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we will be retiring to closed session to discuss those items so listed. I have a motion to retire into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now go into executive session.
The board just needs to proceed as directed or take action on items regarding real estate.
Yes, you. I'll make a motion to approve as discussed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as we discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item on 8B, any action?
Yes. I'm going to ask or recommend that the board approve a motion to authorize legal counsel to proceed as discussed in the executive session.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I believe that concludes all our agenda items. Can I have a
Yes,
motion?
sir. Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Now have a great day.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
I have a
Motion.
motion to adjourn.
So move.
We have a motion and a
Second.
second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm County Judge Richard F. Cortez. On March the 16th of 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend a limited number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic or video conference meetings in response to this COVID-19 matter.
So,
In accordance with these suspended rules, notice of this meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the commission are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The commission is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication for members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would on any in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of the agenda. If you would like to participate in this public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions on the posted meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to the board adopted procedures to the extent possible. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable technical difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate through this unprecedented conditions. The time is now 15 till 3, and we will begin with a roll call.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, precinct 2.
Joe Flores, precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge, that constitutes a quorum. Please join me for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
States of
America
America, and to the republic
for which
for which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible, with
with
liberty.
liberty and justice for all. Our Heavenly Father, we're gathered here today, again, to discuss public business. We're in some difficult times, and we're fighting a virus that just won't go away. Our community has a lot of needs that we as a government have a duty and responsibility to help them as much as we can. We ask that you be with us, all those first responders, all those people that are trained to protect the public and to defend the public, and to give us guidance, give us the wisdom, the knowledge to make the right decisions for all of our citizens. For this we ask in your holy name, amen. Do we have any items to pull from the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. I have two consent agenda items. Consent agenda item 4A and 10N.
I have a motion to approve the remaining items.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item 4A.
Judge, Commissioners, item 4, consent agenda item 4A. There will be no action. This will be brought next week with some additional language and will be placed on the regular agenda. Item 10N will be brought up when under purchasing, when Ms. Salazar's item comes up.
Okay. Did anybody sign up for open forum?
Yes, sir. I do have, to my knowledge, one participant, Ms. Fern McClarity. I will ask Mr. Lopez, do we have Ms. McClarity?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. McClarity, there is a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise you when there is 1 minute, and I will commence when you start.
Commissioners, I keep waiting to say who is responsible for the shelter in place. Judge Cortez came on television and said, I regret it, but the county is closed. If he has closed the county, it seems logical that he could order it to be open. So when will you be opening everything with the county? I called several counties in the state of Texas, and to my surprise, the counties who had Democrats for their county judges, guess what? They're keeping their county closed. The Republican judges, county judges, guess what? They're open their counties to the public. Harris County, closed, Democrat. El Paso, closed, Democrat. Collins County opened everything, Republican. They haven't raised their tax rate in over 16 years. District Court still closed because they're under OCA. Galveston County, June 1st, county opened, Republican. Commissioner's Court opened to the public. Took 2 weeks to fix their tax office, but they got all the cleansing and everything that they needed, and it's open. The JP's open June 1st. Clay County is Republican. They never closed Commissioner's Court. Their tax office closed for 2 weeks to get everything cleaned and ready. The courthouse was open. Courts are not open yet because they're under that OCA. Montgomery County, Republican. May 18th, Commissioner's Court open. Courthouse is open, no juries yet. Fort Bend, Republican. Commissioner's Court just started. If you are at home watching television, it seems that this order only applies to those who are not protesting because those people seem to be exempt from everything. My concern is that people are not working with this commission, keep spending as if everything is fine. You keep employing more people, increasing salaries, and making contract modification to the courthouse every meeting. Do you really think everything will be fine? This does not look like a plan that includes reducing poverty. Just wait until the construction of the drain line right down the middle of 107. That will be another hit to the local economy, and it will last for years. I think that the 20 census will significantly increase our population, but the people will be poor and will require more services. Remember, the virus has caused the U.S. government to spend $3 trillion to support small businesses in the major cities, and now we're going to be spending more because of the rioting. A 2019 report from the Texas Policy Foundation shows that Texas is only second to New York in per capita debt. In Hidalgo, with a population having significant poverty, it becomes apparent that our county commissioners exercise financial restraints. Simply put, stop spending because the people can't afford it. We're watching every meeting, and every meeting we see that all y'all do is I'm assuming you're going to spend all the government money before you open the county back up. So we're waiting. I'll be back here next week, same time, same station. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lopez, do we have any other participants?
No, that was our only one.
Thank you, sir.
Claudia, I know it's not on the agenda, but somebody needs to tell her that we've been open for many, many weeks. So apparently, I don't know where she's getting the information.
I will communicate with her, sir.
Okay, thank you. Item 6A, please.
Afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Captain Freeland with the Sheriff's Office. Under Agenda Item 6A, we're requesting discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Martin Rodriguez, student at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, as an intern under the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Internship Program for the period of June 2020 to August 2020.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under Item 6B, we're requesting authorization for a county judge as Chief Executive Officer and Sheriff J.E. Eddie Guerra as head of department to sign the CEO law enforcement certifications and assurances form for participation in all aspects of the programs and procedures utilized by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under Item 6C, we're requesting 1, approval to accept K-9 VACU from K-9s for Cops. 2, approval and authorization for county judge as an authorized official to sign terms and conditions agreement and any other required documents.
Move approval on 6C, 1 and 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. We have a comment from the auditor requiring the legal counsel's approval of the agreement to be attached. Has that been?
So just the legal. Oh, what?
You're on mute, Counselor. You're on mute, Counselor.
Judge, it's my understanding that the auditor updated her concerns list and that one was not on the updated list.
I'm sorry.
Our recommendation is to approve.
Then I don't have the updated list. All right. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Under Item 6D, pursuant to Hidalgo County Cellular Telephone Policy, BIR TSO 3432, requesting presentation for consideration, acceptance, and approval of cellular phone request form, unlimited data for the following approval for requisition number 415308 for 136 unlimited data, no throttle cards at $30 per device.
Move for approval.
Again.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Item 7A.
Ms. Martinez. Or Mr. Perez, I see you there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rodriguez is here with us.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you for having us today. Most pleasant afternoon to you. In attendance today, we have, besides myself, Samuel Perez and Alma Martinez, team members. This Friday, June the 12th, 2020, we will be celebrating National Women's Veterans Day. To expand on this event, we have Alma Martinez today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you for having us. As Felix said, my name is Alma Martinez. I'm one of the veteran service officers here at Hidalgo County. So on this Friday, we will be celebrating Women Veterans Day. So what does that mean to me? Pretty much, women are warriors, from the American Revolution to the modern day campaigns across the nation and of every culture. We have fought in wars. We have been pilots, medics, leaders, and sisters in arms. We have been prisoners of war. Many women have served. Many have given their lives in the line of duty and occasionally have been recognized as heroes alongside men. What does it mean to be recognized as women veterans? It means representation to little girls knowing their history as fighters. Being recognized highlights the knowledge and strength of women. It does not overlook their contributions and recognizes and respects how women have fought and continue to fight for their rights and freedoms. So what are we doing to commemorate this day? Hidalgo County Veteran Services will be recognizing 8 women veteran employed in Hidalgo County. Friday on June 12th, we will be presenting each one of them with a certificate of appreciation, a military coin commemorating their service, and a small token of our appreciation. The following departments will be visited on Friday and recognize those specific employees. It will be Adult Probation, District Attorney's Office, County Clerk's Office, and the Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you and all the women for their service.
Judge, if you notice behind Alma Martinez and commissioners, if you notice, right back there is a certificate of appreciation along with a small vase with flowers and an American flag that will also be delivered to our women veterans who work in our county.
Well, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much again for your service. Do we need to take any action in this matter?
No, sir. We just wanted to inform the Commissioners Court of what we're doing.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you all
Thank
for your
you to all the
service.
women. Thank you to all the women.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, item 8A.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I will present for Constable Precinct 1. Discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint Rene Rosas and Omar Moreno as Reserve Deputy Constables by Constable Celestino Avila Jr., Constable Precinct 1, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code, Section 86.012, not 011, 86.012.
For approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge,
Item-
I'm sorry, Judge.
No, go ahead.
With your permission, Judge, Commissioners, I will present, or I will also do to the Auditor's Office, item 9A, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor for various TxDOT projects is the first action item.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the second item would be approval of the 2019 appropriation of funds for various TxDOT projects in the total amount of $514,727.85.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
10A.
Hey, good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Raul Seguero, Human Resources, item 10A. First, we're asking a waiver of the following if applicable for personnel items that are listed below. Number 1, Civil Service Commission Rules, Section 3.22. Number 2, Hidalgo County Personnel Manual, Policy Manual, Section 6.27. And number 3, Budget Amendment Policy, Personnel Related Amendments. If I can get a waiver of those, please.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 10B for the WIC Department. Approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. Judge, Commissioners, this is simply a title change. Slot number 0037, current title licensed vocational nurse 2, grade 11. The incumbent has become a registered nurse. She has now gotten her registered nurse license, so we're changing the title to registered nurse 1. It's just the title change. The grade will remain the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 10C for the Health Department, approval of the following personnel temporary full-time position to extend the following temporary full-time position for 26 weeks, beginning July 1, 2020 and ending 12/31. The position was initially effective in January and it expires 6:30. So Mr. Olivares is asking that we extend it due to the tremendous amount of work that he has with the COVID, and this person is helping in that activities. So we're asking to extend temporary position slot number T004, Clerk 1, as requested.
Move for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge,
Raul.
Commissioners. Thank you, sir.
Are you still working out, Raul?
Yes, sir, every day.
Good. Number 11A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. P.R. Avila with the Urban County Division. For item 11A, subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, the Urban County Program is requesting consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Longhorn Services, Inc., which is the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $88,059, utilizing UCP funds from fiscal years 2018 for the Elsa Street Improvements Funds.
Move for
For
approval.
approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 11B, item 11B1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services, construction materials, geotechnical testing services.
Move for approval?
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
11B2, presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioner's Court of at least 3 construction materials geotechnical testing engineering firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of La Villa, the Urban County Program, Hidalgo County Commissioner's Department, Purchasing Department, in connection with and funded through the Hidalgo County Urban County Program years 2018 for La Villa water and sewer improvements. We have Robert Kisner. If you want me to rank them as stated, Robert Kisner Consultants at 90.33, Terracon Consultants at 83.33, and Millennium Engineering Group at 84.67.
So move.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the grading as indicated therein in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And for item 11B3, authority to negotiate professional engineering services with contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Robert Kisner Consultants, Inc. for the provision of construction materials geotechnical services for the Urban County Program years 2018 La Villa water and sewer improvements.
Move for approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, PR. Item 12A.
Yes, Commissioner. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, requesting approval to submit grant application and budget to the Texas Department of State Health Services in the amount of $358,787 for COVID-19 epidemiological and for the county judge to sign the related grant application and documents.
So
Move
move.
for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Eddie. Item 13A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Item 13A, Daniel Salinas presenting for the IT Department. Authorization and approval to change wireless service plans through the county's membership/participation with contract DIR TSO 3415 with Verizon Wireless for the following. 6 lines for emergency management, and this is a reduction in cost.
Move for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Item 14A.
Elections Department, this is Yvonne Ramon. Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 14A is discussion, consideration, and approval of the following changes to the May 5th approved list for the July 14th, 2020 primary runoff election early voting polling location. So on May 5th, this court approved the early vote locations, but you will see now that in Alton, they moved us from the conference room in Alton City Hall to the Alton Recreation Center. In La Jolla, they moved us from the municipal court to the La Jolla Gym. In McAllen, we stayed at STC, but they moved us to from the nursing campus to the community room building B. In Sullivan, we are also in the same area, except they moved us from the main building to the pavilion.
And these changes
I do need approval.
And these changes were made
Yes.
by the parties themselves?
They were made, no, actually, early vote is handled by Commissioners Court. And the reason that they moved us is due to the COVID-19 for social distancing. They tried to accommodate us to a larger room. So that was the reason for these changes.
Move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2 is discussion, consideration, and approval for election updates. Just to let you know that I will be sending an email to each of you this week. We are looking at providing the community and our poll location with different types of protocol posters that will encourage our community to be safe. We are, with Mr. Garza's help, we're hashtagging Vote Safe Hidalgo County. We will be sending several press releases out and just encouraging our community to be safe together as we proceed with voting. So hopefully by the end of this week, I will be able to be ready to send each of you an email, letting you look at the posters and asking for any ideas that you all would have or any concerns that you all may have as we proceed with this COVID-19 into the primary runoff election. Thank you.
Ms. Ramon, are you doing something particular with mail-in ballots?
Particular as in
Are we just
being
mailing
safe,
them out to
or
all voters, or is it just the people that requested them?
Sir, it is still the Supreme Court went ahead and did not approve the voter who is concerned with the COVID-19 fear to be able to request a mail-in ballot. So we sent out a little over 4,000 this past week, but those are the annual applications that we already had in play that are for 65 and older, disabled, confined in jail, or we're planning to be out for early vote on election day. But there still has not been a complete and final resolve in people requesting ballots. Now, we are upping our processes and procedures with curbside voting. And of course, we are implementing a plan, which I plan to also send to all of you, in what our processes and procedures will be to be safe at the polling location, aside from practicing social distancing, from providing masks and face shields for our workers. We also are going to have some available to those voters that do not come to the polling location wearing those. But ballots remain the same, Commissioner. The ballot laws remain the same. Nothing has changed.
Thank you very much. Do you actually need action on this item?
No, sir. I'm just wanting to update you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramon. Item 15A.
Thank you, sir.
15A, requesting approval to submit a grant application to the National Park Service for the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program Grant. Not sure if the auditor and purchasing cleared that.
Do we know?
Second the motion. Commissioner, yes, we did clear it for you. They do have a cooperative contract.
So we're good to go?
Yes, we would just have to verify whatever the proposal is at this point.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2, requesting approval for the county judge to sign all required documents. Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
15B, requesting approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between the South Texas Independent School District and the County of Hidalgo for student transportation staging area for the 2020-2021 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 16A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Armin Garza for Precinct 3. Item A, 16A, requesting approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of Alton to assist one another in overlaying Inspiration Road between 5 Mile and 6 Mile Road, two sections of approximately 500 linear feet and 200 linear feet.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement, agreeing to assist each other with equipment, materials, and manpower to overlay Inspiration Road.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, TxDOT Precinct 3 Liberty Road Project, Phase 2, 1315, authority for county judge to sign TxDOT Form ROA 10, tabulation of values for all parcels associated with Precinct 3 Liberty Road Phase 2, Mile 3 to FM 2221 ROW CSJ 0921-02-364 until the completion of this project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to accept a counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 43 associated with Veteran Roads Boulevard, with the authority of the county judge to sign administrative evaluation and approval form.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Item 17A.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. I'm going to be requesting no action on item 17A. Mr. Lou Arias from Gallagher apologizes, but there was an unforeseen emergency. So we'll place this item back on a future meeting date. Moving forward to item 17B, discussion, consideration, and action to approve the ratification of necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditures to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for the following: health expenses for communication and enforcement of public health orders on Exhibit A, public health expenses for acquisition and distribution of medical and protective supplies, including sanitizing products and personal protective equipment, which is Exhibit B, public health expenses for disinfection of public areas and other facilities, Exhibit C, public health expenses for public safety measures, Exhibit D, expenses to improve telework capabilities for public employees on Exhibit E, and other related expenses reasonably necessary to the function of government listed on Exhibit F. These are in connection with the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use. Judge, Commissioners, the total amount that we're requesting to expense out of the relief funds is $1,662,958.52. And those are detailed on the 6 exhibits.
So moved.
There is a second.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. 17B2 is approval of the intra-departmental transfer. So move.
Second.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Items 17C, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by the line item, allotment, or allocation for the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, emergency paid sick leave, and expanded family and medical leave in order to assist with county payroll expenses addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval?
Second.
Did we clear the auditor's concerns?
Yes, Judge, Commissioners.
Okay.
And just for the record, the total amount that we're requesting right now from pay periods 9 to pay periods 12 will be a total of $95,043.22.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're starting to spend that money. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And item 17C2 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer. So move.
For approval? Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
Item 18A, under purchasing department.
Ms. Salazar. Ms.
Yes.
Salazar, this is Valde. Ms. Salazar, I'd like for you to, we pulled from consent agenda item 10N. This is to be discussed under the regular agenda, so we waited for your item to come up. If you can please go to consent agenda item 10N that was pulled.
Yes, I have it. I have it right here.
Action under regular.
Under 10N from consent to regular, agenda item 75791, we're requesting approval to purchase one Peterbilt 348 roll-off truck with accessories in the amount of $156,351.07 through the county's membership and participation with TASB Buy-Board Cooperative Contract as stated on the agenda. Awarded vendor is Rush Truck Center.
And this is through our certificates of obligation, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Going through item 18A1, this is, if applicable, discussion, consideration, and action to approve as necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditures to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item allotment or allocation for the Hidalgo County Health Department Testing Biosafety Laboratory in order to assist the county's functions related to medical and public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure, if applicable, under CARES Act, is reasonable and necessary for the intended use. Could I have action, please?
What particularly are we doing here?
I am stating in the event that we're doing it in an overabundance of cautions to state the CARES Act if in the event in the future it would be a permitted expense. So it is on the record.
And Ms. Salazar, just as a matter of clarification, at this time, the funding is going to be from what source?
General fund.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
So move.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item C would be acceptance and approval of the final negotiated AIA document, standard form of agreement between owner and architect with ERO Architects in connection with the design and construction of a testing biosafety laboratory to be certified in compliance with clinical laboratory improvement amendments, the CLIA, by the Food and Drug Administration, Centers for Medicaid Services, CMS, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and subject to final legal's final review as to form.
Which one was that?
This is for the ERO architectural. I just wanted to describe more of what that lab is going to be reaching for as far as certifications.
So I have a question further down on the agenda where we're saying something about rescinding a contract. And by agreeing to this or accepting this negotiated document, does it automatically presume to rescind that?
No, you can still take action.
So this is strictly for architectural services.
Right. At this moment, this would call for the subcontracting of civil if in the event you rescind the action that's on the agenda.
But only if we
don't-
rescind.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But Marty, how can we do that if it wasn't in the scope of the architectural agreement when we put it out?
The civil, like others, engineering are part of subcontracting. It's not uncommon. It can be done.
Just because I was on the call on Friday, so what we had discussed, and obviously the court has the ultimate decision, is that to make it easier for the process to put the civil under the architect. But when we had the discussion, we explained to the architect that we were moving forward with SAMS because they were scored the highest, and we asked them if their comfort level with SAMS. ERO had no issue with them, and they said that they would bring them under their umbrella. And so that's why that agenda item down the road is on there, only because we got ERO to get comfortable, with.
Why do we need to do that if we already approve for them separately?
We did it when we built the courthouse. We had hired the geo-testing company, and once we had hired, and then later on we hired the architect, and because it was easier to work under the architect's umbrella, we went ahead and brought the geo under there. But I mean, if y'all don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You're going to have that decision in a couple of agenda items. But that was the thinking. That was the reason why.
Well,
just trying to make the process easier.
I guess I'll call myself confused, but we're going to retain, or we retained last meeting, some real estate brokers to help us look for certain properties. And I thought one of those properties was, for a lab. Have we decided? I mean, how is it that we decided to build one as opposed to purchase one? I know I went to see one. Did y'all go to see?
That's the first time I've ever heard about us buying a lab.
I'm sorry?
That is the first time I've ever heard about us buying a lab and not building a lab.
Okay, well, see, that's why I'm confused, because I went to see one because I was asked to go see it, and I went to see a warehouse, and I believe, my instructions after I saw it was to make sure that they notified all the commissioners so that you all would have a chance to go see it. So apparently that didn't happen.
And once again, we're dictating where to put the lab when Eddie's saying that it's in his interest to have it right by where he works on a daily basis. I have no interest in putting the lab anywhere other than where it serves our health department. If they want it behind them and we have space available to them, I mean, I don't make money putting it behind them.
I thought that we had already approved that property next to the health department a few agendas ago as the property for the right behind the area where the 2 JPs and constables going to be. Correct me if I'm wrong, legal, but I thought we had already approved that area. And
Commissioner, if I may. Oh, go ahead, Counselor.
That's correct, Commissioner Torres. The location had been approved previously on a court's agenda.
And it's my understanding, I think that they've already gotten started with some of the environmental. And if we're going to go in a different direction, this is the time to stop and regroup and reset again.
I don't have a problem with building one at the location that Mr. Olivares would like it. I'm just saying that if you all haven't seen these properties that are out there available, then we're missing an opportunity that there could be an option that is a better option. I don't know what Mr. Olivares would say, but you all decide what you want to do here.
What Mr. Olivares has said is he wants it behind him, but because somebody keeps hammering him about moving it somewhere else, he's basically doing this now. So I think I'm speaking yes to you.
In all honesty, I think we need to look at all options.
And Judge, Commissioners, I would just remind you that we're going outside of the scope of the agenda item. That's 18.1C in regards to the approving the negotiation subject to final legal review for the ERO architects.
And I'll just go back to clarify, we're approving it. And if we rescind the other action, then they start the negotiations on the civil, right?
If you don't rescind, we would start negotiations with civil separate. If you approve this, the civil will come under the architect.
Only if we rescind.
Yes.
To be clear,
Marty, I have a question. Marty, I have a question. By doing that, is there a cost savings, or what's the rationale and the reasoning other than convenience? Is there a cost savings to doing such a thing?
I couldn't tell you, Commissioner. I know that it would probably cost us a reimbursable charge when that subcontract comes up for payment from the lead, which is the architect. If we negotiate separately, that is not going to be a reimbursable under the contract. That's the best I can tell you right now, that I would see that there would be a cost associated. What the architect and the civil engineer come to as far as an agreement on their contract between them, we wouldn't have any input on that.
Just
at the end of the day, do we have a cost savings?
Without knowing what we're going to negotiate, I couldn't tell you, Commissioner, because I wouldn't know what the contract between the architect and the civil engineer would end up being. That would be something between them, a contractual obligation between them.
The conversation on Friday was just on a convenience basis. It wasn't on a price basis. But it's not supposed to be this. If y'all want to keep it the way it is, we can keep it the way it is. It was all about convenience and moving this thing in an orderly fashion. Where are we on this agenda item? Do we have a motion in a second, or where are we at?
No, I don't believe we have a.
I'll make a motion to approve the item.
I believe we're still in discussion, Commissioner.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the item.
Second.
We have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2, and I may want to ask legal counsel, under item 2, we are also funding this contract under general fund. Is item A necessary to be stated for the record?
I would go ahead and just state it for the record.
As I did on the previous, okay.
Right.
Item A, if applicable, discussion, consideration, and action to approve as necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for Hidalgo County Health Department Testing Biosafety Lab in order to assist the county's functions related to medical and public health measures addressing the current COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
And again, this is only to leave the door open to see if those funds would be available to pay for it.
Right. Under either our CARES Act or possibly under the CDBG CARES Act.
Okay. We have a motion. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024-84, a professional service.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is acceptance and approval to execute the final construction management or project management services agreement with B2Z for the construction of the Hidalgo County Health Department testing biosafety lab, subject to legal's final review as to form.
Move for approval.
Second.
Now, so I can understand this. We haven't decided, but we're hiring a construction manager already, or am I wrong here?
You are correct. But the construction manager will work parallel to the architect to start also gathering the information they're going to need to be able to manage the project.
I see. We have a motion and a second, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item D is acceptance and approval of work authorization 1, estimated cost of $19,176.75 is submitted by B2Z Engineering to provide programming, design, construction, management, and oversight of the testing biosafety laboratory, subject to final legal review if necessary.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 3, does the court wish to proceed with this, or are we going to, or do you wish to take no action? This is on the rescission.
I would like to make a motion to take no action. I don't see the cost savings or the benefit of this.
Do we have to take action on it if we're just going to no action?
Well, no action would be that you do not proceed.
I guess I'm not sure why we would do this, so I'm in preference of no action.
Okay, Commissioner. Judge, is that a consensus?
It appears to be, unless somebody else wants to jump in with some comments.
Okay. All right. So then we'll proceed. No action on item 3. Item B, 1, Precinct 1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024-84, a professional service.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is presentation of the scoring grid of firms nominated and graded through the county's pool of pre-qualified professional engineering service providers for construction material and geotechnical testing services for the purpose of the ranking in connection with on-call construction materials and geotechnical testing services. The 3 firms were Rabba-Kistner, 292 points, Fulcrum at 287 points, and Terracon at 285. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is requesting authority for Hidalgo County Purchasing Department to commence negotiations with the number 1 ranked firm of Rabba-Kistner for a professional engineering services contract on call and as needed basis for construction material and geotechnical testing services.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C1, this is requesting approval for Hidalgo County Auditor to process and issue checks in the amount of $875 prior to services being rendered pursuant to Architectural Barriers Administrative Rule 68.80G to JRG Accessibility LLC, registered accessibility specialist designated by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation in order to permit the processing of the project filing plan review and inspection for Precinct 2's indoor sports complex renovation project.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Precinct 4 Acceptance and approval of supplemental agreement number 1 to work authorization 1 to revise Exhibit D fee proposal to reflect an increase of $18,614 submitted by contracted engineer B2Z in connection with the design and construction of the new mechanic shop for Precinct 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
E1, Health and Human Services Department. This is discussion, consideration, and action as approved as to approve as necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for the Hidalgo County Health Department remote temperature guard and required accessories purchase in order to assist the county public health expenses addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Ms. Salazar, just for the record, I want to make sure that compliance with 2 CFR 200 was implemented in pursuing this item.
In the following items and this item as well. Yes, we do have the backup, the due diligence effort to get our quotes.
Under the requirements of 2 CFR 200?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You know, we had item 17B where we had the CARES Act Relief Fund appropriations that we did, and these are coming under Health and Human Services Department. We don't need to aggregate them all and put them all in the same place. They can be sprinkled throughout the agenda items.
That's right, Judge. The 17 item was a reimbursement ratification item, so it's separate and distinct from the items that are here under Health and Human Services Department.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is exemption from competitive bidding requirements pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 62024A1, an item that it must be purchased in case of public calamity if it isn't necessary to make the purchase promptly to relieve the necessity of the citizens, and 2, an item necessary to preserve and protect the public health and safety of the citizens.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to purchase the following remote temperature guards and required accessories through the county's membership and participation with GSA Cooperative Awarded Vendor, Phonetics Incorporated DBA, Sensaphone, under the contract as stated on the agenda in the amount of $5,928.20, and that is subject to compliance with the Form 1295 with no PO issued until compliance is met.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item A, under 2A, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not associated in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by a line item, allotment, or allocation for the Hidalgo County Health Department sanitation supplies purchase in order to assist the county public health expenses addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use, subject to compliance, if necessary, 1295 and the SAM.gov, which I believe we did receive and upload into the agenda before going on. But in any case, no PO would be issued unless compliance is met.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is exemption from competitive bidding requirements pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A1, an item that must be purchased in case of public calamity if it is necessary to make the purchase promptly to relieve the necessity of the citizens, and 2, an item necessary to preserve and protect the public health and safety of the citizens.
For approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
C is requesting approval to purchase from Best Medical Supply the personal protection sanitizer items, supplies attached herein in an estimated amount of $301,378.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one is 3A, discussion, consideration, and action to approve as necessary CARES Act Relief Fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for the purchase of disinfectant systems, refrigerators, freezers, and decontamination supplies in order to assist the county's medical expenses addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item B, exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Governments Code 262-024A1, an item that must be purchased in case of public calamity if it is necessary to make the purchase promptly to relieve the necessity of the citizens. And 2, an item necessary to preserve and protect the public health and safety of the citizens.
For approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item C, we're requesting authority to purchase the following equipment and supplies with the cost of $449,518.72 from awarding co-op vendor Aerodave and Granger, both through membership and participation with said cooperative purchasing programs, which are HGAC or TexMass in the amount stated and as the grid shows for those items.
And Ms. Salazar, just for the record, the cooperative purchases are in compliance with the requirements under 2 CFR 200, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item F1A, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A2 and 3, as it is necessary to preserve and protect the public health and safety of the residents of the county and an unforeseen damage to public property.
So move.
For approval.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is requesting authorization to enter into a short-term dedicated internet access and data transport service agreement with SmartCom Telephone for internet services for the Hidalgo County IT Department for a short term, as stated earlier, and upon action through 12/31/20 in the amount of $3,171, subject to final legals review, as they have a couple of revisions that they wish made by the vendor.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
And pursuant to the urgency and the 2 items previous, ratification of purchase order number 817221 issued on June 4th, 2020 for $3,171, processed due to the urgent and necessary circumstances.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Marty, before you move on to the next item, on all the ones in the health department, why weren't they all just put together? Why were you reading over and over and over?
Because they're done by type of commodity, or not all of them are bought by the same co-ops. We had to find them they're all different items. One of them was personal protection items. And so that's the way they were presented by the Fixed Assets Committee, to be able to identify the equipment supplies.
By the commodity?
By the commodity that it is, And if you'll notice, they're all from different co-ops that we tried to get.
Okay, I see.
I mean, I could make one long list if you'd like next time. It's whatever's more convenient.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We're kind of starting here. These are the first purchases we've made, so I guess
I know.
we're gonna improve it as we go along, Commissioner.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'll try to streamline it. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
G1 countywide. This is presentation for award of bid and approval of contract of the qualified responsible vendor UTW Collection Services, submitting the best bid, meeting all specifications and or requirements for tire disposal services at Hidalgo County bid number 091. This will be all supporting documentation will be part of the backup. Is part of the backup, I'm sorry.
They're the only ones that bid, correct?
Well, there were two vendors. One vendor could not be considered. They did not meet the years of business and also had some other issues that we could not consider them for award.
Okay.
We vetted it very closely, Commissioner. It was very detailed. And at the end of the day, legal counsel also agreed with our assessment that they did not meet the requirements. And if you'll recall, this is the second time we do this bid.
Yes.
We were seriously hoping to get more participation, but it is quite an undertaking to have one of these types of businesses. So hopefully the next time we do this, that vendor that was very interested will have the years in business that we require.
Ms. Marty, didn't we just do this in January?
We did it in January, but because of the non-clarification of a bid submitted by UTW, it was determined that we needed to go out again. And that's why we went. And then we also had some interest by an additional vendor. And unfortunately, that proved not to be.
Because the company that had it last year came in with a bid twice the number from last year.
Yes, and actually, Commissioner, they made some clarification after the fact, but it was too late. The way the bid was presented was not presented in their best interest, although that's what they intended, but we couldn't go by that because it was a bid.
Right.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That is all I have.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, under 19A 1 and 2. There's no action under item 19A 1 and item 19A 2 this week. If I may move on to item 19B, discussion, consideration, and action to amend the current Hidalgo County mass gathering rules and regulations authorized under Chapter 751 of the Texas Health and Safety Code, Texas Mass Gathering Act, to limit mass gatherings to 500 persons and require appropriate county permits and adherence to all county regulations and requirements during any declared emergency or disaster, included the declared public health emergency period related to COVID-19, in accordance with Governor Abbott's Executive Order GA-26, unless superseded by proclamation or future executive order by the governor.
And Judge, there's a small correction on the agenda item. It should not read during any declared emergency. It should only read during the declared emergency for the public health emergency related to COVID-19. This action item is just for the purposes of this emergency, and so it's temporary. And that matter, it may also have to be taken up again by the court should the governor's office increase the number that it has designated for mass gathering persons.
I was hearing kind of an echo. I mean, was that only me or did everyone hear the same?
It was an echo because Valdez still had his microphone on.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an echo.
Yes. Councilor, would you please repeat that, please?
Yes, Judge. Hear me now?
No,
Yeah.
Valdez needs to mute.
Mute, Valdez.
Judge, there's a correction on the agenda item. It should only read that the amendment is for the purposes of not during any declared emergency, but rather during this declared emergency period related to COVID-19.
Okay, so
The
specific.
reason for the amendment for just this period is because it's very likely that the governor's office may issue additional orders that changes the 500 persons limit at this time. And we may have to take up another amendment in the near future. Our existing policy will remain as is. This amendment is only for the period of this declared emergency. And we recommend approval.
Okay, and you're moving it from what to what?
Our policy is statutorily defines mass gatherings as 2,500 persons, unless there's a chance that 50% of those attendees are 21 and under, then it's 500. So we're moving it from 2,500 to 500 during this declared period.
Okay. I just want to put that on the record. Okay. You've heard the recommendation of our legal department. May I have a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Should we go into, I have some legal questions regarding the CARES Act funds.
Yes.
Should we go into closed session? So pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.087, we will be going into executive session or closed session to discuss those items. May I have a motion to do so, please?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now go into closed session.
Anything else? All right. Judge, Commissioners, before I go to item 20, I want to go to item 22 for the record. Item 22A, there is no action to be taken today, and 22B, there is no action to be taken today.
Well, we're back. Are there any action items to be taken?
Yes, sir. Judge, Commissioners, if I may, if we could go back to item under open session, item 23, open session 23A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same. There's no action to be taken today. 23B, pending and or potential litigation. There is no action to be taken. 23C, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding response to public health emergency. We have an agenda item that we will go to in a second, which is item 20. Item 23D, cause number C 1863-20E, Nina Trias and George Lopez versus County of Hidalgo and City of McAllen. Judges, Commissioners, for the record, I will be asking Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office to facilitate defense on the part of Hidalgo County. We could have a motion so we can put that on the record in second.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 23E, claim of Jesus Gonzalez Jr. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $180.16.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Going back to item 20, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding A, county response to disaster health emergency. 1, CARES Act funds. Judge, Commissioners, there's no action to be taken today. Item 20A2, approval of CARES Act interlocal agreement with subrecipient municipalities. Judge, Commissioners, for the record, will proceed as directed.
For all those that are listening, what we've done is, based on the recommendations of our legal department, we were presented with an interlocal agreement for all of our subrecipient municipalities that we've been talking about it for almost a month now. And in abundance of precaution, we want to make this draft form of this agreement, get it all to all the municipalities, give them 24 hours to review it so we can hear back from them to see if they have any suggestions as to what that agreement says, So we'll be able to then address any of those concerns, should they be any. We don't anticipate any, but they could be. And then we will call for an emergency meeting so we can approve it and hopefully get them signed and get everybody working on those agreements.
Thank you, Judge. Item 20B, measures necessary to preserve public health and safety. There's no action to be taken today. And item 20C, direction regarding county government operations, including but not limited to essential functions. As reported earlier, Hidalgo County is operational with our departments, and the county has taken the necessary and continues to take necessary acts to protect the safety and well-being of our county residents as well as our employees of the county. And so with respect to item 20C, there's no action to be taken today other than that update that I just gave.
Okay, well, I think that concludes all of our agenda items. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.